Hey everyone, it's Jack here and welcome back to episode number 101 of the TNC podcast. This is a Chris Reeve takeover this week. We're delighted to be able to welcome Declan Rudd to the TNC podcast. And first of all, thank you so much for last week's support on episode number 100 with Onel Hernandez. I think we've just reached 1,000 likes on that episode. So yeah, thank you so much for that. We're also delighted to be able to announce that The Athletic are now on board with the TNC podcast. I'm sure you all know about The Athletic. It's the only place I read my footballing fix now. The wonderful Michael Bailey's the Norwich City correspondent over there. It's ad-free and they get all the best exclusives throughout world football. So it's definitely worth a look. They've also just launched a brand new Norwich City podcast called On The Ball, hosted by Michael Bailey, with regular appearances from Ben Mouncer, the former media man at the club, and also NCFC numbers, as well as our favourite, Mr. Stuart Hodge. It's a really wonderful listen. Links to that will be down in the description below. Why not head over there and give On The Ball a listen after this week's episode of the TNC podcast. And if you want a little Christmas present for yourself, treat yourself, you've been good this year, then why not sign up to The Athletic? You can get 50% off and a 7-day free trial to see if you like it at theathletic.co.uk/TalkNorwichCity. It's dead cheap, it's brilliant over there, and it'd be really nice to support Michael Bailey because he's a good friend of TNC. So thank you to The Athletic and thank you to all of you guys for supporting. Without further ado, let's get straight into episode number 101 of the TNC podcast with the wonderful Declan Rudd.
Hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Talk Norwich City podcast. You'll already notice that I've got rid of Jack and I've brought in my super sub for this episode. It's Preston North End #1 and former Norwich City player, Declan Rudd.
Hello,
Declan, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
You good? I'm incredible.
Good.
I'm incredible.
Good.
I'm so pleased I've got rid of Jack for you. You're much more handsome, that's
Well,
for
I'm
sure.
used to being a sub, so
Early doors, right, Dec. First of all, you're back in Norwich. Are you coming back a lot or not?
come back when I can. Obviously, all my family are here. Pretty much all of our friends are down here. So international breaks is pretty much the only time we can come back. So we get back when we can, but obviously it's a 5-hour journey each way. So it's with 2 kids under the age of 4 in the back ain't the most fun drive. But
especially on the A47.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And the A11.
Yeah. But yeah, nice. We get back when we can. The weather's a lot better down here, so it's nice to come back and it not be raining for a change.
And things at Preston at the moment, absolutely flying. Good to see it. You're enjoying your time there, aren't you?
Yeah, it's good. Playing games in a successful team doesn't really sort of get much better. It's going a lot better than I think we thought it would. We knew we was going to be good this season, but I don't think we realised how good it was going to start. But the Championship, a lot can happen. So 30 odd games to go. It can be a complete change very quickly. So it's the old cliche of every game as it comes sort of thing.
Very true. Very true.
But yeah, no, it is going well. I'm really enjoying playing week in, week out, and just sort of getting that run of games in. And I'm nearly 30 now, so it's about time I sort of got some appearances.
I was going to say, you're getting on a bit now, aren't you?
Yeah, for a footballer, I'm sort of I can see that scrap heap coming at the end. But no, it's gone so fast. Obviously chatting before about when I was here and stuff before we obviously started this, it was it seems like it was only yesterday, but it was a long time ago. So.
I was going to say that, Dec. Obviously, you're on the and very much a Norwich City podcast. Do you still feel a bit aggrieved about your time at Norwich? Do you feel like there was still something that you could have given? Do you think it's the right time to go?
I think I was one of them people that wanted to be sort of like a one club player. Obviously joined the academy at the age of 8. Had a season ticket in the Upper River End, as it was called.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah, right, top row, right in the middle. So I used to go there with my dad and my granddad every week,
Class.
every home game. And it was something that I'd always sort of dreamed of doing, obviously playing for your boyhood club, and to be part of the academy and everything was just obviously special for me. But it was a tough decision, and it wasn't one that I took lightly, and it was possibly people have said maybe you should have done it a little bit earlier to get some games.
Yeah.
I don't know if to be honest, I wanted to break the mould of being young Declan Rudd at Norwich City. I think that can always be a little bit of a thing with when you come through and you've been there all your life. I think even when you get to 26, 27, you're still young Declan Rudd, and I think going to another club and signing as the number 1, I think it just sort of it changes the perception of you a little bit, and you're not that sort of
fresh
young
start,
kid anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously I was still very young, but it was just trying to shake that off really. And there's probably a few things that I'd probably have liked to have gone differently, but sometimes within football a lot of stuff isn't in your hands, and that's the problem. It's the opinion of one person sometimes. So.
Well, we will get onto that, that's for sure. Let's go right back to the beginning on that note of young Declan Rudd, if you don't mind. I know that you hate being called that, but we'll do it. Young Dec Rudd.
Keep it going. Right.
Let's go back. So, first of all, you're saying that you sat in the Upper River End.
Yeah.
What season was that? That must have been was that Worthington? Early Worthington?
Yeah,
before Worthington?
No, it was Worthington, yeah. It was...
Because that was when I started, so I don't know what went wrong for me, but obviously, you know...
I was at the player final in Cardiff as well. Travelled up to that.
Nice. Ewan Roberts classic.
Yeah. Obviously lost in pens.
Yeah.
But we won't go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I remember it all. I remember the days when Delia was on the pitch at half time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was in the crowd for all that. I've seen everything really. I remember when it was the South Stand and it was the old South Stand.
Yeah.
I remember sort of
when they were building
like
it.
Yeah, and they had all like the old sort of garages and warehouses behind it and stuff like that. So
those were the days.
Yeah, proper football. But yeah, I think I saw.
Favourite chant, by the way, as a kid. What was the best chant for you? Belting out. Did you go to away games as well, or just do?
No, I never got a chance to go to away games.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was training on a Saturday morning, obviously with the academy, so I could get to home games, but I could never really get to away games. Obviously everyone loves On the Ball, don't they? So
classic.
I think that's the one every kid likes. And to be fair, I remember sitting on the Castle Mound when it was the promotion.
Yeah.
Tour.
When we won the league. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a day that was! A sea of yellow and green.
Yeah, it was good, and I never thought sort of 10 years on I'd be part of them.
It must have been really weird I think weird is the right word. It must have been weird being a fan and then making that switch to a player. I mean, I remember, I'm going to throw him under the bus a bit here. I remember going to a few games with Angus Gunn as a kid, and Angus had a similar thing to you in the sense of he used to go to the games and he was very much a fan, and then he became a player. And I think that possibly affected him, actually. I don't think it affected him too much, but I remember there was a game when he came back to Norwich a couple of seasons ago, and it was Ipswich at home, and you could see the fact that because he was such a Norwich fan, he was nervous. Do you think that ever played a part for you? Were you ever nervous because it was your team?
I think the older I got, the more it played a part. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So younger it didn't?
No, I was fearless when I was younger, and it was just sort of, it was like nothing to worry about.
Wow.
When I made my debut in that, obviously away at Gillingham, you just sort of, I don't know, it's a strange way to explain it, and I never even felt one bit of nervousness going into games.
So the nerves came very much later on in the line.
Yeah, when I think when I got obviously in the team in the Prem, it was a bit of a different scenario, and it was sort of your career is then starting to take shape, and you've got more than just your football to worry about, and it was I wish I could go back and do it again, because I'm now playing probably another 150 games since then.
Yeah.
I would be able to deal with it in a completely different way.
Yeah, I bet.
The occasion of playing in the Premier League is one thing, but in the Premier League for your boyhood team is a completely different thing. And obviously all your family members are going to work on a Monday, and if it don't go well, they're getting it from,
believe me, we are,
everyone. So it is tough. It is tough, and like I said, if I could have what I have now in sort of what I know and go back and do it all again, it would probably be completely different.
So when you're, we talk about the pressures and strains of being at the top, but let's drag it right back to the beginning again. Let's go back to the academy stage. Mm-hmm. You obviously come in 8 years old. Mm-hmm. Is it true that you were scouted as a striker, by the way?
Yeah.
What was all that about?
Well, I played for Bresingham, who was my local team.
Yeah.
I must have only played a handful of games, and then got sort of scouted and went to the trials.
Were you banging them in for fun and for Bresingham?
Yeah, it was like, it was. I thought, oh, this is easy. This went to the trials and come up obviously against the best in the region, and I just didn't have what it took. Got told that you're not fast enough.
Right.
And all that, and luckily enough, I then went for a second trial, and our team only had 4 players. We didn't have a goalkeeper.
Right. Okay.
So we
So they literally just stuck you in by chance, by luck.
So you play sort of a few games. Each of us had to take it in turns, going in goal.
Yeah.
I went in goal, and afterwards, I think it was at the time Colin Watts was the head of the scouting, and Paul Tong was the academy goalkeeping coach, and they sort of come over and spoke to me and my dad after, and was like, "How do you fancy trying it in goal?" And I was like,
"Did you want to?"
Well, you know what it's like as a kid. Everyone loves throwing himself around in goal, but everyone wants to be scoring them, don't they?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "What do you want to do?" He never said, he never answered any questions for me.
Sure.
He always left it up to me, and
that's good.
I just said, "Yeah, I'll have a go." So I went back and got in as a goalkeeper.
I love that. I love the fact that you literally just took you took your turn in goal.
Yeah.
And now you're playing for Preston North End, number 1.
Yeah.
It's very much a. Do you believe that there's luck in football?
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's all about timing, all about luck. Who's watching when. You could have the best game of your life and not one scout be there. And then the scout comes to watch you the next week, and you have a stinker, and you never get that chance.
Yeah.
But it's not always based on one performance at that age. But obviously they're watching so many kids and so many sort of. But saying that, if we had a goalkeeper in my team on that given day in that trial, I wouldn't have been probably sat here now.
Wow.
So.
What do you reckon you would have done if you weren't a footballer?
I don't know.
Any idea?
Do you know what? I get asked this a lot.
Do you?
And I've never once even thought about anything else, to be honest. So,
okay.
I think at that age, you don't think about what you're going to be when you're older or whatever. My uncle was in the army, and I always used to think that was quite cool. So I don't know been an option, but
nice.
From all through school, it was teachers all the time saying you need to wake up. It's not going to happen. It's a dream.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I've got it in my school reports from teachers saying he needs to.
Oh, well, you need to get them out deck.
Yeah.
We need to throw them under the bus. That's for sure.
Like you need to wake up and.
It's very risky, mate. I was going to say it's very, very risky, because if you look at players coming through the ranks these days, education's a massive part of it. Plan B is a massive part of it. If you look at how, for example, Jamal Lewis and Max Aarons have broken to the Norwich team, it started quite late.
Yeah.
Very much athletics. Then they come in as footballers. But you were there since 8 years old, and you, by the sounds of things, you're very blinkered to the fact I want to be a pro footballer.
Yeah.
So when you're going through the academy, was it a roller coaster ride, or was it always, look, this kid's special, this guy's going to make it? I mean, because 8 years old is young to be joining an academy, right?
No, I was literally a hair's breadth away from getting released at the age of 10 or 11.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was said at that time? Do you remember?
I just remember them saying that I'm just not cut out for it.
Wow.
I could hardly kick the ball out of my box.
Seriously?
Yeah. It was obviously, you're still growing. You still
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it was that close that they were like, they must have flipped a coin on it, because it was like one of them. And then, to be honest, after that, I think you get told something like that, and that's it. You just sort of think, right, I need to.
So that was almost the motivation. It was that adversity of the fact that you're not good enough, Dec.
Yeah.
But as a 10 or 11-year-old, I mean, how did you possibly deal with that? Or was it your old man? Was it your old man that was like, nah, he is going to make it?
No, he's always been completely the opposite. He's never pushed anything.
Yeah.
None of my family ever pushed anything. If I didn't want to play football,
so it was purely you on your own that said, nah, I am good enough.
Yeah, and I think I just stuck at it, because I think that's, I've obviously gone through quite a bit, sort of, with different managers and stuff like that, and
we'll get onto that.
I think I sort of built it up from then.
Okay.
I think it's sometimes good to get told that, because it makes you think it's not always plain. But after that, it was plain sailing for years, and it was there was never sort of any sort of like bad patches, if you know what I mean. It just and I was lucky, because to have it at that age, I probably got a little bit more leeway, because they were probably like, right, it's still developing, it's still very young.
Wasn't as cutthroat.
If it had have happened at 15, 16, it would have been it.
Yeah.
So it probably came at the right time.
Because it's brutal, isn't it? And I think you're right in saying, Dec, that there was so many moments in your career that you were looking at, and I remember even as a fan going, God, when's Dec going to get his chance? And there'll be people watching and listening to this that are going, yeah, I remember that. I think you were at the club for, was it 15 years?
Yeah.
Pro contract came 2008, didn't it?
Yeah. When I was 17.
And how many times were you knocked down?
Yeah.
I lost count. I genuinely lost count. I think, and I'm not just saying it because I'm in front of you now. I think it's a credit to you. It's a credit to your family. I think it's incredible that you've actually made it. With all the respect, I really do, because I think that I think literally every single manager you played under, and I mean I've got it here. Spot the trend. So you made your debut in 2009, Gillingham. Fraser Forster got sent off.
Yeah.
You made your first championship appearance against Barnsley in 2010 because John Ruddy got injured. You then made your first appearance in the Premier League because John Ruddy got sent off at Chelsea. 34 appearances in 9 years I've got here.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't think you got a fair crack of the whip. I'm going to be honest with you. Did you feel like that?
I didn't, but I just, being a Norwich fan, being at the club, I was probably stupid in being happy being there, if that makes sense.
So almost the fact that you were a fan affected you?
I think so, yeah, because it wasn't purely a job, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because a footballer is a job at the end of the day, and it's no different to anyone else going into the office, going to do the tarmac in the roads, going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a job that you get employed by a company. You go in and you work and you do your job. And for me, it was more of a pleasure to be there, I suppose.
Yeah.
And
do you think you sat back too much?
Yeah, I don't think. But I was young and I had no experience.
Absolutely, yeah.
I had no experience, so I couldn't go into the manager and knock on his door and say,
I was going to say, yeah.
Why not get him a chance? He'd say, well, you haven't played any football. I don't know if I can trust you. You've played 1 or 2 times for me, but if I'm to put you in, can you do it for me? And I had nothing to back me up with me going to a manager saying that I want to.
Did you want to get loan moves earlier than you did?
No.
And this is exactly what I'm thinking, Dec, because I feel like the moment that it's certainly the Prem, right? And I remember it vividly. John Ruddy gets sent off against Chelsea. You had that run of games that was like Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal, like literally the best teams in the country. And I remember we didn't do too well in those games, but you made some incredible saves, some brilliant performances, some valiant performances. And I remember Norwich fans going, "We're back, Dec. We're with Dec. We get Dec." And I wouldn't say this to John Ruddy's face, but I thought, actually, you know what? Why not kick John out for a bit? Put some pressure on him. Let's start young Dec Rudd, because actually he's absolutely good enough to do it. I think that at that point in the Prem, I feel like that was the moment for you to say, nah, I need to have a loan move.
Yeah.
But because you're a fan, you're saying you were just happy to just chip in where you can.
Yeah, I think tough thing was how John was performing incredibly. It was around the time, obviously, he was getting England links.
Yeah.
And, he'd obviously just got the club promoted and had a great season. I remember at the beginning of that season in the Championship, when he first come in, John will probably tell you, after about 4 or 5 games, he made a few mistakes. And I remember after one game, Paul Lambert saying, "One more and he's in." Basically, and
To John?
Yeah, to John.
Wow.
And after that, John had an absolute
that was the kick up the arse he needed.
I think that sort of shows John's character, that it just kicked him on.
Yeah.
And he went and had a unbelievable season. We ended up obviously going up. So I think that come into play a little bit with John going out of the team and then me coming in, and when John was back available, it was I think, looking back, probably the right thing to do, because he'd done so well and not let the club down just for getting sent off. I think it would have been a massive thing to do not to put him back in because of what he'd done.
Do you think John was a bit of a role model for you in a sense? Because definitely. I mean, I see countless videos of you online training with John. You must have had such a good relationship with him.
Yeah, we worked together for years.
Yeah.
And the fact that John took a completely different path in football than to what I did, I think helped me.
Yeah.
I think he had about 3,000 loans before he.
Well, we said that, didn't we, before we came on?
Yeah. And I obviously didn't have a loan move till I was 21.
Yeah.
So it was completely different paths, and to see John come in and sort of do what he done made me think, well, if you get your chance and you take it, then it's just up from there.
But do you think John? Do you think that John became too much of a mate to you? Because was there ever a point that you felt like you wanted to dethrone him for that number 1 spot?
No. And
wow.
I think the point of me being at my boyhood club and being very close to John.
Yeah.
Probably didn't give me that sort of hunger of
wow,
I'm gonna get him out of the team.
Nice. Do you think that's important though in that goalkeeping position? That bit of competitive edge where actually it could be either.
I think so. I think it is, but it wasn't like that, and I think that probably helped John with his performances, because he had my full support, and he probably felt if there was someone there that every day was trying to affect his training or trying to sort of make it as hard for him as possible.
Yeah.
I think
that's interesting. See, I would think the opposite. I would think that surely if you think, actually, I've got a blooming brilliant keeper here.
Yeah.
That number 2 or even number 3 that could dethrone me any time. I mean, you look at Norwich's current keepers that we've got. We've got 3 international goalies. We've got Tim Krul, Ralph Farman, Michael McGovern. Yeah. Those are all quality goalkeepers that could take each other's place any time. And I think that actually maybe I actually kind of wish that you'd kicked John up the arse more, mate.
Yeah,
I do.
no, I probably should have.
Brilliant goalie, not taking it away from him.
Yeah.
I mean, I vividly remember your game against Everton when you turned into the Dis De Gea.
Yeah.
Mate, you were everywhere.
Yeah.
Saves left, save right, everywhere. Brilliant. And at that point, I find the concept of you just having that incredible game and then being like, oh, that's right, John's back in. Did it never annoy you?
Yeah, it did. It did, yeah. But I mean, the one thing with me was I played in the promotion season in League One, I think 11 games nearly.
Yeah.
Because Fraser, I think, got sent off 3 times.
That was you and Fraser, yeah.
Yeah, and then in the Championship season, I played 1 game against Barnsley, and I think, if I remember rightly, we lost 1-0. And then John come in and played the rest of the season. And it always was a thing of, I always felt like I was there to step in if the other one wasn't. But I think it also was because I never had that taste of being that number 1 goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And I think that.
But when does that taste come? Does that taste come with consistency, and is that why you didn't have it earlier on?
The more games I played, the more I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do, and this is what I need to create. I need to create a sort of mentality that I want to play every game, and I want to be that keeper that's out there every week, being put in that position of pressure, and having to perform. And I think the older I got and the more sort of taste of it I got, the more it developed. And
did you start to get that in the Prem? Was that the point where you started to get it?
Yeah.
Because I mean, taking shots off at the time, Stephen Naismith in his prime at Everton, for example.
Yeah.
You know, Lukaku, some big players there.
Yeah.
It must have given you a real taste of it and gone, actually, you know what? Was that the point where the frustrations grew, do you think, as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like, I think that was where it was like, is it ever going to happen? Like, am I always going to be this young that steps in when someone's injured or when someone's suspended and then just sits back on the bench and is happy to be there? And then a lot changed. I mean, I then went and had a kid, and that changed everything.
Did it?
Well, that wasn't until the spell I had in the Premier League under Alex Neil. So that was obviously late on in like sort of Norwich career. But, that completely changed the whole aspect of how I look at it. And
the combo of kid and Alex Neil at the same time. Yeah. That's a hell of a combo.
Yeah, it's like being in the car was the easiest place. Get home, you're getting it from the kid. Get to train, you're getting it from Alex. But it really sort of changed. It changed everything. And I think going away to Preston for 18 months on loan, that's when I really, like, I was there. I think I played 75 games in 18 months or something like that.
Yeah.
Got into the playoffs, obviously lost in the playoff semis. But I came back from that with Neil Adams, obviously, who took charge, who I'd known for pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
And him telling me that he wants me at the club after being told by Chris Hughton that you can go.
Wow.
He never gave me a chance.
Chris Hughton never gave you a chance.
Never gave me a chance.
Never a sniff.
I think he likes a bit of experience.
Okay.
He likes a sort of a goalkeeper that's done it.
Okay.
And I hadn't really played. I mean, I played a couple of cup games for him, but I think that was only because when John done his thigh and Bunny was there. Yeah. I think I only got them cup games because obviously Bunny was playing in the league, the first team. So
was that your most frustrating time at Norwich under Chris Hughton?
Yeah.
Because I'd say that was actually one of the most frustrating times as a fan for me. Because watching it was so negative, but yet with such a good team. Yeah. Such a good team. You know, there's no denying the fact that, you know, kept us in the Prem, but the football that we played in the Prem under Chris Hughton was just so negative.
I think it's hard for me because he's actually such a lovely bloke.
I was going to say.
And obviously.
But how can you say that if he never gave you a sniff? How can you say he was a lovely bloke?
Because it's business, and it is a results-driven business. Okay. And if he's not the type of manager that wants to risk young players because they're not proven, then fair enough. But saying that, I've got a lot of thanks to give him because he got me. He basically got
was
me
the one that kicked you out, basically. Yeah.
And I went to Preston, got 75 games under my belt.
Yeah.
Played in the playoff semi-finals, and came back to Norwich as a completely different goalkeeper.
I was going to say that because that's a really interesting period for you, I find, which I can't wait to delve deeper into, because you go out to Preston first time, and then there's a second time. There's Charlton in there as well, but you sign a 3-year contract at Norwich at that point. Are you told that you've got a future at Norwich?
So I signed my contract when Neil Adams took control. So that was after my first spell at Preston.
Yeah.
And him being the manager and the whole club basically wanted to keep me there.
Okay.
Which is why they brought me back and had me as number 2 to John. And I was more than happy to commit more years to the club. Cause, I mean, I was playing at Preston in League One, and then I had the opportunity to go back there. I could have signed straight back to Preston on a permanent deal. But obviously with us just coming back down from the Premier League, having the chance to be involved in that squad, the squad of players, which was pretty much most definitely going to go back up with what we had.
Yeah.
To be given the chance to be back involved, I thought, right, this is the last time I'm going to commit, and if nothing happens, then it's got to be me.
Okay.
And obviously we had a poor first half of the season. We weren't anywhere near where we should have been.
Yeah.
And then Alex Neil came in and just completely changed everything.
I was going to say that. What was the emotion for you like at that time? Because obviously Neil Adams, great guy, Norwich City through and through, bleeds yellow and green. You've grown up with the guy by your side, basically within the youth ranks. That must have been difficult. Was it for you to see Neil Adams get sacked? Did you feel like it was the right moment? Was that difficult for you?
I think he probably would agree that it wasn't working. And, I think it probably, with it being his club that he's always worked at and played for and been at for so many years, that he probably realised that the club needed a change.
Right.
And when the change was made, everyone was, I remember everyone thinking, who have they brought in here?
Wow.
Like, they've got rid of, obviously, Neil Adams, who's...
some guy from Hamilton.
Yeah, they've brought in a player that's just hung his boots up to take a club up to the Premier League.
Yeah.
And he walked in, and within a minute you thought, this bloke means business.
Okay.
Like,
I was going to say.
Yeah. You automatically went, whoa.
Okay.
So it was like, right, okay, like let's see what happens. And
so was there that instant respect there? Because this is super interesting, because obviously you've now got an even bigger relationship with Alex Neil than you ever had before. Mm-hmm. So you're saying he came in. Did he demand respect? Did he earn respect? How quick did he get it?
He got it within the first team talk. Because obviously, I remember we played Bournemouth away.
Yes,
and
Cameron Jerome scored the winner, didn't he?
Yeah. So he got the job the day before, I think it was. So we was all at the hotel, and Mike Phelan was taking the game.
Yeah.
And we went down for breakfast on the day of the game. Went back up, got ready, come back down for the set play meeting.
Yeah.
And I remember Mike started the set play meeting, and within a minute, Alex was like, "Whoa, I'll take this." And then
really?
And then he took it, and then he said his a few words.
Yeah.
And it was like, right,
Do you remember the words? What were the words?
just, if you give me everything, I'm going to give you everything. So as long as I see you out there giving 100%, that's all I want. And it wasn't until after that you realise tactically how unbelievable he is.
I hear that so often, that Alex Neil is so organised, so structured, so detailed, so astute with it. All of the detail is there, which, to be honest with you, it does surprise me. As a player that's just hung up his boots, you would feel that sometimes a player that's just done that would maybe get carried away with the emotion of it all. But yet, you always hear that about Alex Neil, don't you? And then, so let's then go to the pinnacle of that season, which is you win at Wembley.
Yeah.
For you as a fan,
Yeah.
what was that like?
I remember sitting there, and I've never...
If you can remember it, of course.
I don't remember after, but even to this day, I've never been at a game and been so nervous.
Really?
I think when you're not playing, it's harder than when you are.
I was going to say, yeah.
And I think it meant so much to so many people that we won that game. But
it did.
It was weird. We knew that we was gonna win the playoffs. We just knew. Everyone knew.
Wow.
It was just like a feeling at the club.
Yeah.
Within the sort of playing and coaching staff.
Yeah.
We knew that was gonna be our day. And everything just. I mean, I think getting Ipswich in the semis.
I was going to say, let's go back just a touch to Ipswich.
Yeah.
Again, as a fan, what I would have combust. I don't know how you did it.
I think, like, to this day, I've never played for Norwich against Ipswich, which is one thing that I've always wanted to do.
Really, yeah.
I think, no.
Cool up Angus, man. I'll tell you, it's not all it cracks up to be. You'll be a shivering wreck. You don't want to be the keeper that finally loses to Norwich.
I know, yeah. I'll give it a few years before that happens, hopefully. But, I mean, not only is it a playoff semi-final that is a two-leg game.
Yeah.
And you can't lose.
Yeah.
But it's also a derby that you can't lose.
Yeah.
So
double the pressure.
It makes it. Them two games were probably bigger in the build-up to what the final was.
Yeah. And it was the biggest. It was the biggest derby, arguably of all time.
I think it was probably the closest contested for a while.
Yeah. At their place, it was.
Yeah. Because leading up to that, it had been pretty much sort of all out Norwich every single game. But that sort of that playoff semi-final at their place was so close, and it was like,
I can't imagine what it would have been like, because you hear this from players all the time, particularly players that are injured, and they're like, I hate it because I can't impact the game.
Yeah, you can't do nothing.
How much of a role did you have with? Because again, you're by John's side. What were you saying to him during that playoff campaign? Can you possibly comfort him or not?
There's nothing you can say.
Wow.
I mean, it's completely different as a goalkeeper. I mean, like, it's a little bit like an outfield player being on the bench, being a goalkeeper. Because you can't impact the game unless the game comes to you.
Yeah.
Whereas a midfielder can impact the game by going and tackling the left back.
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what I mean? And you can't. You have to stand there, and if you're not doing anything, you are just a spectator for probably the majority of the game.
Yeah.
Although your concentration's completely different, you are 100% switched on, but you still can't impact the game unless the game's involved with you. So it is a hard position to be in them high sort of emotional games. But John didn't need telling anything. He was
you just warmed him up.
Yeah. I just I didn't even do that. I just watched him. I was probably more nervous than anyone. But it was come the end of it, I think after beating Ipswich, it was a bit of a like, oh right, we've got Middlesbrough now. Like,
okay.
It was like the occasion, I think, was made not smaller because it's a playoff final, but
It was a relief that you got Ipswich out of the way, basically.
Yeah, so it's like,
Sure.
right now we've got the final, rather than, well, it's the final.
Yeah.
Like,
And were you surprised by the start the lads made in the final? Because as a Norwich fan, I'm sure everyone would agree with me watching, that was, although the pressure was so high, it was probably the best start to a game we've ever made ever.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't remember a single game that we started that game that well. Did you know when that second went in that it was our day?
Yeah. I think they had one shot. I think, did they hit the bar?
Bamford hit the bar, didn't he?
And I think we blew them away, which is what Alex does with his teams. He looks to blow them away early doors. And the one thing I remember from that, which was the biggest surprise of all, was after the gaffer said his words before the game, Seb Bassong got everyone in a huddle.
Did he?
And I didn't know where it come from. And I think whether
Was this before the game?
before the game, yeah. And I think he said a prayer, but it was like I was tingling. Like it was like, where's
Oh mate, that makes me shiver thinking about it.
was like,
Wow.
And after that, I thought, like, if you're not up for it now, like it just felt.
Oh mate, that brings a tear to my eye.
But it was.
Is this in the changing room? Yeah.
In the change room, but
Oh my God.
the gaffer had said his bit, and
Yeah.
then Seb was like, "Well, hang on, everyone come in here," and everyone was like, "What's he doing?"
Wow.
And then he said,
Seb's a bit of a joker, isn't he?
"Yeah, he is. He's Seb is a great bloke,
Funny guy.
yeah, great bloke, and he
He liked to clean shit, didn't he? He used to
Yeah.
go on about that.
yeah, but no, he said them words, and it was like, "Whoa, this is."
So you're in a huddle. Seb literally prays for you.
Yeah.
And what was the reaction afterwards with the lads? Like
was
what the
just
hell has
like-
just happened? Or
Yeah,
was it
it was
like,
like-
right, let's go?
Yeah, it was like, right, let's just go do it then.
Was it a bit weirded out? Like,
Yeah.
Seb, what you doing?
Yeah, well, it was before, and then as he started and that, it
Love
just sort
that.
of put everyone in a.
Oh, I love that.
But he'd never ever done it before, ever.
Wow.
And he never done it since, from what I know.
Seb, if you're watching, if you're listening, we need you right now. We need you in the Premier League, mate. Get yourself in that changing room. We need to pray for a win. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
But yeah, and then the game just took
Yeah.
took part for it.
And then you rock up at Preston.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that. Actually, let's not talk about that yet. Let's go for the emotion when you finally decided to leave Norwich.
Right.
How difficult was that for you? Or was it easy? Did it feel like the right time to go?
I think, obviously, leading up to, after the promotion, I got the longest run in a Norwich team that I've ever had, and loved it. And it was sort of rabbit in the headlights sort of scenario, I think, for me a little bit.
Okay. Interesting. Because that didn't come across on the pitch.
Yeah, no, it was. I think it was more on the pitch was sort of fine, but it was the stuff that came off it. You're in the Premier League. You're like you're playing in. You're one of 20 goalkeepers playing in the best league in the world.
Yeah.
And there was a lot that come with it, and it probably affected me a little bit in that way. I probably should have just not taken any of it in, if that makes sense. I should have, but.
So let's go. Hang on, Dick. So let's go into that, because that's a fascinating point, and I think people need to hear this, because people think, oh, he's been at training. Why hasn't he hit the target? Or oh, come on, he's been taking shots all week. What? How has he not saved that? Or how has he not come out there? But you talk about the pressure and the amount of stuff off the pitch, and even just the relationship that myself and my colleague Jack have got now with the media team in Norwich. You hear about all of the interviews and the pressure and who they're talking to, and the fact that it's a worldwide beast. Even when you were there, it's a worldwide beast. Was it just the sheer scale of that had an impact, or was it what the fans were saying on social media?
Yeah, I think that was around the first ever time that I, after a game, would walk straight into the dressing room and search my name on Twitter. I've never had Twitter, but after a game,
you would search your name on Twitter.
I'd search my name to see what people had been saying. And
why did you do that?
Because I wanted to be pleasing everyone. I wanted to be sort of wanted everyone to be happy with how I was doing. I wanted to know what people were saying about me, and you read a few bad ones, and it just starts to snowball in your mind, and you then start to sort of affect you the way you play, because you think, oh, everyone thinks that I can't do this, I'm rubbish at this.
Derek said I'm a wanker last week.
Pretty much, yeah. And he's probably right, by the way. So yeah, I let a lot of sort of things that shouldn't affect you, sort of.
But because you're a fan, again, I've got to bring that back. It must have more of an impact because you're a fan, because you're searching your name, not because you're arrogant, not because that you want the attention or necessarily the praise or the plaudits. You just want to make sure that everyone's happy with Declan.
I wanted to make sure that, just worrying about what people were thinking, and it was.
Did you ever want to respond to those people? Did you respond to those people?
No, I could. Well, I had no way of responding because I didn't have.
You didn't have it. That's one.
Yeah. So, but no, I've never really. The problem is I let it fester inside, but I never want to physically give anyone my time. Of like.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, things like that obviously came into play then.
Yeah.
And it was quite new at the time.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people were probably doing it, and people probably
not
still
thinking
do.
about it.
Yeah. But
do you look at Twitter even now?
No.
You don't do it anymore. You just don't do it.
Give
a shit. I'll say it.
Yeah. I couldn't give a shit what anyone says anymore.
Okay. Do you think that's important to have that?
Yeah. You need a thick skin. I mean, I'm a goalkeeper. Every goal that goes in, there's always someone that thinks you should save it.
Yeah.
Every save you make, you should make that save.
It's most people say it's the most difficult position to play, don't they?
I think it's the most difficult, probably mentally.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not physically demanding.
Yeah.
But mentally,
and I've heard you say it before. And then speak about mentally, Dec. Let's bring it back to that moment, because it was Alex Neil.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Alex Neil and Stuart Webber combo that saw you out of our football club.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't have the best start to life with Alex Neil.
No, well, it started well. I mean, he gave me my chance. He gave me 11 games in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He gave me the opportunity to go to Old Trafford and beat him 2-1.
The Tete Topo.
Yeah.
Remember it well.
Yeah. He gave me all them chances, and at the time when I got taken out of the team, I'd just made a big mistake in a big game, and the club needed to start winning or we was getting relegated. And as a manager, you have to make them decisions, and
why should you feel responsible for that, Dec? Because surely the strikers have got to do it. You know?
Yeah, no, it is a team game. It is a team game, but I did feel a little bit harsh done by, because after one big mistake, I probably should have done better with a few goals but you make one big mistake and you then get taken out, and that did affect me for a long time.
Did it?
Because then I didn't play again until I went to Charlton. Didn't play one game of football until I went to Charlton. So the last game before that was I made a mistake and got taken out.
Yeah.
But it's all them things that sort of have built me into the mindset that I've got now.
Yeah.
And I think the club was just desperate to look for a way to get back into winning ways and to stay in the league.
Sure.
And I think going back to tried and tested John Ruddy, who's been an absolute unbelievable servant to the club.
Yeah.
Was their way of thinking of shoring it up at the back, because we was conceding so many goals. And it's always one that you look at as a goalkeeper, defence, but as a team, we concede and we score together. And they opted to change me, and to be fair, they were changing centre halves every week. They were trying to look for the solution, and we was getting injuries and all sorts. But
we're still getting injuries, believe me, that ain't blooming change. Don't even start me on that. Don't even say that word on this podcast. My God. So you walk through the doors at Preston,
Yeah.
and there must have been a huge sense of relief for you. But at the same time, was there an ounce of, oh, God damn it, I wish it worked out at Norwich?
Yeah, because obviously I had the season at Charlton, which I didn't enjoy one bit.
Interesting.
It was...
Why?
I went from playing in the Premier League to going on loan to League One.
Right.
And I just felt that it was... I thought that I've had it here.
Okay. Interesting.
Like I said, my last game before that was the Villa game where I made the mistake.
Yeah.
And then Charlton was the only nailed on club that I could get.
Right. Okay.
And I had to take it. Charlton's a massive club. And that, again, I went there. They'd just been relegated.
Yeah.
They'd just got 10 players out the door. They'd just brought 12 in.
So there's a lot of negativity around the club.
Huge negativity. The whole fan base wanted the owners out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just a sort of it was quite a hostile club at the time because they'd been relegated for one, which is bad enough.
Yeah.
But then having a whole changeover of players and a new manager and wanting the owners out.
Yeah.
It was just sort of a complete transition year for the whole club. But it gave me another 40 odd games.
Yeah. And so then Preston came back, you must have been like, whew,
yeah, because
thank God for that.
I came back to Norwich at the end of that season and done a bit of training.
Yeah.
Because obviously Dean Kiley was still here at the time,
Yes,
so our season finished before
Yeah.
Norwich's, I think, at the time. So I came back and done a bit of training. And
Yeah. How was your relationship with Dean Kiley?
brilliant, yeah.
Interesting, because a lot of Norwich fans don't get on with him. There was a few
Really?
a few Twitter spats
Yeah.
with him, but obviously a lot of experience there, right?
Massive experience, great coach, great bloke.
Interesting.
And which is why when I was at Preston, we needed a goalkeeper coach.
Yeah.
And that's why I suggested him to come up to Preston.
Right. Yeah.
To the club.
Yeah.
So,
Brilliant. And then so you've been at Alex, you've been at Preston now under Alex. When Alex Neil gets appointed for Preston, what's going through your head, Deck? Because he's kicked you out of Norwich.
I know.
And let's be honest here, you must have gone, oh my God, right?
Yeah. He never kicked me out. He just said that I wasn't going to be playing.
Okay, sure.
So it was one of them, back to square one.
Okay.
So,
but then he gives you so many games of football again, right?
Yeah, so I signed for Preston. On my first day, I drive in. As I'm driving in the gates, Simon Grayson's driving out, and he just completely ignores me. And I think, what's going on here? I go in. 10 minutes later, the chairman walks in, calls a meeting. Simon Grayson's gone to Sunderland.
Right.
He just signed me.
Yeah.
So that was that. And then 5 days after, the chairman calls me in and says, we're sort of looking at Alex, bringing Alex in.
Yeah.
Tell us about him. So I
tell us about him?
Yeah.
Here we go. What do you want me to tell you?
No, so I basically said what I've always said is tactically unbelievable. Great, he'll get the team going. Because the thing is, Simon Grayson and Alex Neil are complete opposite sides.
Right.
Simon Grayson is sit back, sort of don't get beat.
Okay.
Really sort of hands off, sort of around the training ground and stuff like that. Whereas Alex is right, go out there. We want to win every single game.
Yeah.
We want sort of to go out there straight away with press and
brilliant.
It was like a complete change of sort of football philosophy, and I just said to the chairman, I'm just worried about my relationship personally with him.
Okay.
And he said, don't worry, we spoke about that, there's no issue.
Wow.
Well,
what a relief to hear that.
Yeah, so
brilliant.
From then on, it was like, right, that's fine. It was a situation at the time that was completely different to now. So then the gaffer gets the job, and then 2 days later, we play our first pre-season game.
Yeah.
The ball gets rolled back to me from centre. I clear the ball up the pitch and rip my quad. So I'm then out for until January. So I've just signed for the club. The manager that signs me left. And then I play my first minute.
Yeah.
Clear the ball. I'm out for 5 months.
Yeah.
But then straight away I play in a FA Cup game, do well. Play in the next round, do well.
Yeah.
Alex puts me in the team. I play for the rest of the season.
Incredible. Brilliant.
And then I start the next season.
What was the conversation? What was the first conversation you had with Alex when he first came into Preston? Was it awkward?
It could have been awkward.
Okay.
But he sat me down and just hit the nail straight on the head and said, right, there's no issues.
Good. Good. That says a lot about him, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the one thing with the gaffer is if you perform for him on the pitch, then he doesn't really care about anything else.
Yeah, he doesn't accept laziness. I think that's where the problems could potentially come in with Alex, right?
Yeah, if you sort of don't give it your all, then you're not for him.
Yeah,
and that goes. Well, it shows with our squad that we've got now that every single player is sort of 100% every single day.
Yeah.
Because of where they've come from, because of sort of their personalities and the type of player that they are.
Speaking about, playing incredible under Alex Neil, I've got a bone to pick with you. A big bone. I'm pissed off with you, Dec. Yeah. I'm still pissed off with you to this day, right? I'm not going to let it go. People will watch and listen going, what are you doing, Chris? I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You almost cocked up our promotion campaign last season. You beat us 3-1. Yeah. You saved a penalty from Marcus Steedman. You saved 10 shots that day. You got man the match. You were giving it the lion's grin to the Preston fans against Norwich. What are you doing, man?
Well,
and by the way, as well, I'm gonna keep going. I'm not letting you have a word in edgeways yet. We score. Team Pookie scores, obviously.
Yeah.
Water's wet. Max Aarons tries to collect the ball, and you hold the ball off him.
Yeah.
What are you doing that for, man? You're 3-0 up.
Yeah, I know, but
3-1 up.
I just conceded after having one of the best games I've ever had. No,
I'm genuinely, all joking apart, the Norwich fans, the reaction from that was, wow, Declan Rudd, ridiculously good now. Like, wow, unbelievable performance. That must have been one of the best performances you've ever had.
It was, and I wasn't... It was one of them where you play against your old team.
Did you want to get one over us?
I didn't want to, but I had a point to prove.
Okay. So you did then?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah. And it was.
You sod.
But my emotions in that game run very high because of
what it meant to you.
Yeah, I never wanted. Well, I wanted to leave Norwich, but I didn't want to leave Norwich. I had to leave Norwich.
Yeah.
For my own career.
Yeah.
But I never wanted to leave Norwich.
Okay.
And the fact that I did and had to move my family 5 hours away and
sure.
Then when the chance comes to play, not only is everyone thinking he's going to let Norwich win here because he's a Norwich fan. If anything would have happened in that game where I'd have made a mistake and it would have been like, it's because he's playing Norwich, blah blah blah. And it was just one of them games where I literally played.
I was so pissed off with you, honestly. I was screaming at the TV.
Well, no, I had a lot of abuse during and after that game.
Yeah, well, good. Good. You deserve it.
I took it on the chin.
It's got to be expected, isn't it? Right?
Yeah. I was completely expecting that.
Incredible performance, though.
Yeah.
As I say, I looked up the stats before. It was 10 shots you saved that day.
Yeah.
That were going in. You're playing against the most informed striker in the league, Team Pookie. Yes, he scored, but again, you save a penalty. That doesn't happen every game, does it? No. I mean, was there a slice of you that felt like afterwards, were you like chest puffed out? I've just beaten Norwich. You must have felt good for it.
No, because I knew he was going to get promoted and we weren't. So.
Because Leeds overtook us that day.
Yeah.
You did, mate. You did some serious damage. I don't think you realised how much damage you did to us that day.
I had a great chat with Stuart Webber at the end of the season.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was said?
So basically, when the lads won at Villa, I just texted him saying,
"Oh, brilliant!
Amazing to see the club going back up. As like a Norwich lad, it's great to see."
Yeah.
And he just texts back saying, "It would have happened a lot earlier if it wasn't for you."
See, Stuart's class.
Yeah.
Stuart is class. He's so honest.
But so then we had a nice chat, and he just said, whenever you're in the area, you're welcome to come in and
incredible
and see us. So,
incredible.
It was great. But after that game, Delia was at the game, at the Preston game.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there after the game, obviously checking my phone, getting a lot. And our chef comes in and there's like, "Oh, there's a letter here for you," and it was written on the back of the menu from the boardroom.
Right.
And it was from Delia. I've got it at home.
Is this straight after the match?
Straight after the game, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Saying, it was great to see you. Played amazing.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I hope to see you again soon.
Brilliant.
Keep up the good work and stuff like that. And it meant a lot because I always had a great sort of relationship with Delia. And,
incredible woman, isn't she?
Yeah, amazing. And she gets a lot of stick that she doesn't deserve.
Yeah.
Because look at some clubs and what's happened to even up where I live, Bolton. Look at where they were, and look at where they are now.
Absolutely.
And, the club is being ran brilliantly in my eyes. And some people always want this big foreign ownership and all this money coming in.
But let's be grateful for what we've got, right?
Yeah,
which is a safe, secure, steady club.
Because that money might come in for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
When that money's gone,
yeah,
who's left to pay all the wages? Who's left to pay all the? And I think they've done a great job. And
brilliant.
But yeah, that was probably the best thing to come from that game. Was that letter.
Incredible. On the back of a menu.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
Food looked rubbish though.
So Dec, obviously now you're at Preston. You're absolutely flying. Will we be switching leagues next season? Norwich and Preston?
Well, I hope not, because I want to have one good game again next season.
If I tell you what, if we're in the Prem next season and you blow and beat us again, I'm going to be even more. This time I've got your number now. I'm going to ring you up and give you all sorts of abuse.
I don't know. It's so early, and we're doing well. Norwich are not doing so well, but it's a confidence thing. You could tell from the beginning of the season how much the way the team have changed a little in how they play. First few games it was just like last year, and it was full of confidence and taking those risks and getting the rewards for it, and all it takes is a couple of games not to go well, and it against the quality in the Premier League it can quickly snowball. Probably the international break coming has helped. I think obviously with Pookie going away and getting 2 goals for
Finland,
and he's now going to be full of confidence again, and I think that could come at the perfect time.
It's interesting that you talk about taking risks and confidence. A lot of people put it down to tactics and player switches and stuff like that, but you're very much saying this. Do you think that Norwich are good enough to stay in the Premier League?
Yeah, I think. Well, you don't go and have the season they had last year, and then you don't go and beat the champions of the Premier League like they did without not being good enough. The one thing that probably stands out is the lack of Premier League experience at the club, but it doesn't mean anything if the team's together. And,
should Norwich be signing Premier League experience in January? Do you think that will help?
I don't think it always helps.
Okay.
We tried it and it didn't quite help us when we was in that situation. With the manager and the philosophy of the club, they need to keep signing the players that fits into that brand of football that they play. So whether it's an ex-Premier League player or an ex-Bundesliga player or and from any of the league, it should be the right person for the club. Just because they played in the Premier League doesn't always mean that it's going to help. But it can make a bit of a difference sometimes, I suppose.
Well, Dec, I wish you the best of luck for this season. I really do. I hope Preston go up. You're absolutely flying at the moment, so fingers crossed. I want to see you and Alex Neil hugging on the pitch at Wembley winners once more, but this time as you number one. Yeah. Definitely 100%. Finally, obviously, tons of Norwich fans will be listening, watching this now. Do you have a message to them?
Thanks for the support, obviously. Throughout the years, it's been amazing for me being at the club, and hopefully one day I can see you again in a Norwich shirt, but you never know.
There you go. One day.
Maybe as a coach.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you're on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, give us 5-star reviews, subscribe to Talk Norwich City, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and do leave a comment below whether you've enjoyed me being as a host, because if you did, then maybe I'll kick Jack out for good. Dec, top man, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
On the Ball City.